Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long time since we've seen your faces here, but we are here. My name is Merp. I'm joined by Imperium, bringing you week 6 of Oath's spring season for Overwatch. And our first match tonight is going to be Rush versus Ember. How you doing today, Imperium?
Pretty good. Had a pretty great day. Really looking forward to this matchup against Rush and Ember. We got the rematch. Last time Rush and Ember played a couple weeks ago, it was a really crazy match. Went full three, got the crazy Kings Row that went on for what seemed like
Absolutely.
an hour and a half. I'm really excited to see what the teams bring today for this battle. We saw Ember last week against the Croutons, only the second time in
Hmm.
the entire season that Ember has been brought to a map 3.
Yep.
So I'm really excited to see what they bring out today, as well as, game 2, seeing the Croutons play against Glitch, see if they're, going to continue on that high. Ember's still undefeated, playing against Rush, their biggest competitor in the second
Hmm.
place. So I'm just
True.
overall super excited to see what kind of game we see today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know Rush for their dominant Pharmacy composition, but Ember has the mechanics of pressure and Dapper on their side to sort of weed that out. And we saw that in their match a few weeks ago, where Rush was forced excuse me, to adapt and get off that Pharmacy. Granted, Dragon Gamer still played an incredible May, was doing a great job at separating the enemy team, was doing a great job at finding picks, even won a 1v4 situation at one point with no backup. Kind of absolutely cracked. It's gonna be the show of star power here in today's match, as we're going to be heading into New Queen Street here in just a few. Any thoughts, ideas, theories about what we might see on New Queens?
New Queen Street has always been a really tricky map to kind of figure out where to play and how to play it. The rotations are strange oftentimes. And, with most push maps, it's kind of this constant back and forth. And, Ember and Rush both really excel on that. But it is
Mhm,
a great map for that pharmacy that we were talking about. Rush, Dragon Gamer on the Pharah and Barty on the Mercy is a
mhm,
really powerful combo. And we've seen them do super well, but Pressure and Dapper are both insane hit scans. So we've seen several swaps from there. And, Lazy Titan and Carnage is a crazy tank matchup. You know, um, on New Queens, probably going to see Lazy Titan on the Wrecking Ball, especially with Wrecking Ball being as powerful as they are now. Carnage,
mhm,
really likes to play that Ramatra, and this is definitely a map to do it, but we might also see some Reinhardt. Reinhardt has seen a few small changes here and there that's brought him pretty far into the meta, and Reinhardt's just a super great tank to play. It feels great, it looks great, and it plays great. So we see a lot of players on that. So I'm really thinking we might see, the Rhine versus Rhine matchup today. What about you?
Absolutely. You mentioned Ball. Ball has received one nerf, I believe, one or two nerfs. That it made him slightly less viable. One of those being that the mine deploy has gone up from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. That it makes it way easier to escape those mines. You wouldn't think a half second would mean a whole lot. And that a half second in Overwatch is an eternity. 2 seconds in Overwatch is an eternity. So with that little bit of a change, you do see that Ball does get nerfed, but we are seeing here from Lazy Titan that swap that you mentioned here, as we're going to be seeing them open up on the Ball and Carnage opening up with Sigma.
And I think Sigma's a really great choice here. Sigma has the rock to kind of counteract the wrecking ball. We got the shield to counteract Dapper and pressure, kind of fight against their crazy damage. So I think that's a really smart pick from the side of Carnage.
Absolutely. Lazy Titan not going to go too deep in there. Doesn't want to get caught out by Carnage's rock because they're going to be continuing to dive in deep. We're seeing Dragon Gamer with the Pharmacy combo putting in tons of damage over the DPS, but is getting poked out just a little bit. Not enough to really worry too much though, and they will continue playing this safe. Dragon Gamer trying to find the enemy Mercy. Will start getting Pineapple down low and will eventually find them, but not before Pressure is able to take out Unknown Class. It's trades left, right, front, center as it's now a 3v3 on the point. Dragon Gamer finds Dapper and that Pharah is coming in huge. It will be Ember who is forced to sort of retreat as Rush take the first fight win.
And Dragon Gamer there did a really good job of focusing down the supports, taking out both Glow Reaper and Pineapple really quick in that fight, and that really allowed the rest of Rush to be able to secure those picks. The Lazy Titan now on the Wrecking Ball, just trying to stall for as long as possible.
Doing a great job at it too. They haven't received a whole lot. Oh my goodness, that barrage is built up quick. Dragon Gamer immediately finding two. Low Reaper, Dapper, and Pineapple all go down in quick succession. Pressure's swapping over to the Cassidy from the Reaper. Is going to find the pick. It will get res back up. And geez Louise, was that a very fast barrage coming in from the side of Dragon Gamer.
No joke. You see one fight, Dragon Gamer's already got the barrage ready to go. We saw it use there to take out two. But I think the Cassidy swap from Pressure is really smart. You know, Ember running both DPS, double hit scans to try to counteract Dragon Gamer on this far.
Immediately, once again, Dragon Gamer swapping, getting a pick on a Dapper. The res does come through, so that pick will get slightly negated. But a massive flux finds three. It's gonna pick off two immediately, and Carnage showing why they're really good at a lot of different tanks. Pressures is gonna be able to eventually find the pick, and I don't know if they're gonna get the res off. Pressures finds the second one. Dragon Gamer goes down, and this could be the break Ember need, as Pressures not showing any fear, regardless of being low. Does get eventually picked off, and that will allow Rush to continue pressing forward.
And Galactic Rose with that final pick on Pressure. Pressure had 11 health, so it felt like the longest time there. But again, Lazy Titan just stalling for forever.
Attack visor for Dapper, but the Battle Mercy is going to go in for Pineapple. Does actually find one pick, might be two with the Battle Mercy dip. Lazy Titan there to clean them up as he finds two with the help of Pineapple. And finally, Ember will find the means to press forward.
And Ember doing a great job on the flip there, but they also have two ultimates, almost both DPS ultimates coming online now, compared to Rush's just one, maybe two coming on soon.
Lazy Titan getting down extremely low. This Mercy having to sort of multitask in the healing. Not something a Mercy's great at, but Barty's Pineapple's doing a great job at it. The High Noon comes through. We'll be able to find two. Dragon Gamer, Galactic Rose both go down. No DPS online for the side of Rush. His Pressures continues pushing forward, taking in so much space. Unafraid, find four. Make that possibly an ace. Gonna get it. There we go. He's able to find five. And it is very likely that Ember are going to be pushing forward here into the lead.
And what a great play there from Pressure. We talked about how powerful the Dapper Pressure DPS matchup is. Both of them extremely fundamentally sound, really great. And I think it shows definitely there from that play from Pressure. Dapper now with the tactical visor ready to go against Rush. And Rush, seems like struggling to reclaim this, but Dragon Gamer does get two right there.
No supports online for the side of Ember, and even though Dragon Gamer does go down, he has done his job phenomenally. There's going to be no more healing online for the side of Ember. As I said before, Carnage is going to be cleaving through. Pressure's able to find Galactic Rose, but Carnage still there and mean. The tank being the last one alive is a dangerous thing, but necessary. Barty gets the res on Galactic Rose, and it will be Rush returning in full force as they begin to push the cart.
Rush is pushing the robot back towards Ember's sides, but Rush also has four ultimates ready to go, only having to use one there.
Carnage gets down low, but has the flux to save himself and do a lot of damage. That is the Kitsune Rush for the side of Low Repper, comboed with the Dapper Attack Visor. It's a dangerous combination. He's able to find one, make that two. Might be able to make that three as Carnage gets down very low. But Dragon Gamer, he's up in the air, he's up in the sky. He's getting pocketed by his Mercy to success. And even though that old combo was very nice and very well executed from the side of Ember, it just wasn't enough. Lazy Titan doing everything they can to stall this one out. Just 5 minutes still remain on the clock.
Ember used two ultimates there, but still has three at their disposal. And we see the mines on point, but Rush still has four, almost five, any point now.
High Noon comes through. Not going to be picking off anybody, but is going to force Rush to go back. He's able to pick off Barty, but now Mercies are traded for both sides. Pressures looking for any more picks he can get as Dapper goes down to Dragon Gamer. You've got to be careful on the amount of DPS coming from the side of Rush, and it will be Ember once again getting pushed back. Lazy Titan and Pressure doing a great job at staying alive, but it's just not enough. Dragon Gamer goes soaring over the top ropes.
It seems like both teams really working hard to try to get, just a pick in order to push that card just a little bit further. For Rush, but finally able to do so, just about to take the lead here. Still
Ember
with
doing their
5
darndest.
full ultimates.
Ember doing their darndest to keep the enemy from making a lead, but once again, Carnage finds two. Dapper and Pineapple both go down. It's just Lazy Titan trying to hold on to the last little bit of the lead, and there it is, the flip. Now it's going to be Ember having to push it more than 57.18 meters in order to take the lead at 4 minutes now remaining.
And Rush winning fight after fight, but Ember doing such a great job of stalling that point. Rush really having to work for every inch of space that they take.
Well, another really great flux there from the side of Carnage, but it's not going to find quite everybody he wanted to. He is going to be able to pick off Dapper, and Barty's going to get the res on the Dragon Gamer. That pressure's got through first. So, they're up 2 now. Or sorry, they're up 1. But was able to pick off Pineapple as well. And you're exactly right. Rush just keep finding victory after victory. The indomitable Ember that have seen defeated, that have not seen defeat yet, are certainly being pushed to the brink as Rush still maintaining perfect control of the situation.
Pick off Dragon Gamer there. Rush still having 3 more ultimates to use, but Ember just using their ultimates first.
Lazy Titan does again eventually get picked off, but and the attack visor there from the side of Dapper to finish off the fight. As Carnage still alive, like I said before, keeping that tank alive is dangerous but necessary. He does eventually go down. The res comes through for Lowell Repper. Now Ember have both their supports left, and they get one more chance essentially to push this one all the way back.
And Rush doing a great job here, but they're just holding on to their ultimates for just a little bit too long. 3 of their ultimates they've had for 4 or 5 fights.
Dragon Gamer once again going to pick off Dapper as Pineapple activates his Valkyrie to keep pressures alive. Going to be able to take out Dragon Gamer, but you have to cancel out that res. Going to try to get it as soon as they can. Pressures staying alive, doing a ton of damage. Going to force the fade away from Unknown Class, who's forced to retreat. And there's the Valkyrie that has returned there for the side of Rush. Barty gets down low, extremely low, but not quite down yet. They can't quite do it, and that Valkyrie's going to maintain the rest of Rush's health pool as they're going to find another chance to sort of redefine themselves, refine their footing in this fight. Pressures gets pressed out there, and there's a massive flux once again. Following it up, finds 2, and Dragon Gamer cleans it up, finding 3 in the end. Once again, Rush doing such a good job at maintaining control of that cart.
And Rush playing so well together. We see, just immense amounts of teamwork really paying off as they work so long. But Ember again, it seems like stalling forever. It's really taking so long for Rush to be able to push the robot.
Lazy Titan trying to build up those mines as quickly as they can, but there's the barrage from Dragon Gamer. It's going to take off both DPS up on the high ground. The support's going to try to find anything they can, but it's not going to be enough. The resurrection's not going to be there for them either. Dragon Gamer doing their best to cancel it out at least. There it is, makes 4. And now Rush have a very good lead ahead of them as Ember are now looking at a monumental task.
And we see 2 ultimates from each side. And, Lazy Titan on the wrecking ball doing such a great job of dividing the team, really taking space where they need to and contesting that point. But Dragon Gamer is just such a menace in the back line that Lazy Titan's whole team is gone before they're able to do much. And it's just really crazy how well they're playing.
Let's not forget the medical power of Barty, but there's the high noon from the side of Pressures. They aren't able to escape in time, and the pharmacy combo goes down. Carnage down to 1. Pressures has to be careful not to die here. He gets down low. He escapes. He's going to be able to get this health pack here. And it is Ember holding on for dear life. 30 seconds left remaining. They still have ults on the board. They can still pull this one through. They have to play it smart, though.
I don't have enough fingers to count the amount of times that Pressure has had plays like that with less than 10 health. Seeing 2, maybe 3 picks with 10 health in their hair.
They're going to try to catch up this pharmacy combo in the small room, but it's not going to be enough. Unknown Class has this coalescence here, but it's going to be Galacticos activating their overdrive first. Pressure's going to be taking out Dragon Gamer and Barty. The pharmacy combo is down, and Ember going to have a chance to push this one forward here. The overclock doesn't quite get anything. Pineapple finds the Battle Mercy and then take out Galacticos and Unknown Class. It is overtime now. They can't leave the cart, but they are fighting the picks to continue pressing forward. 3 ultimates now online, 2 up to the side of Ember, and this is gonna be the time to use them. There's Barrage. It finds 1. It doesn't. It finds 2, but he gets traded out. 2 for 2. The pharmacy combo goes down once again. The overtime. The meter is just kicking down. Are they able to take it? They're able to take the lead, and that's going to be it. Ember pull that one back out of nowhere.
What an
Incredible.
absolutely insane finish to a crazy map like that.
We're gonna see this play from pressures. I assume it's one of the high noons. There we go. Taking out the Dragon Gamer and Galactic Rose. Not quite finding the Mercy. Eventually will make that four. Eventually finds the fifth on the Carnage. And there was the ace we saw earlier. Beautiful stuff. And I'm gonna be honest. I I thought Rush had that from the get-go. I thought that was Rush's map. They were so close to making it such a juicy run. And then Ember said, "Nah, we're gonna get our stuff together. We're gonna pack our suitcases and we're gonna go to Rush Town and show you how it's done." Um,
100%. And I think, Lazy Titan on the wrecking ball,
yeah.
contesting for so long. Like we said, Rush definitely won, more fights than Ember
Mm.
did. I think probably double the amount of fights that Ember was able to win. But because they were able to contest for so long, that they just
Mhm.
could not push it as far. So Ember in, like two or maybe three pushes were able to push it farther than Rush was the entire time. And I think that's just some really crazy gameplay from Lazy Titan. Playing super strong, playing super smart as well,
True,
despite losing,
true.
the backline to Dragon Gamer several times. And Barte doing a great job keeping Dragon Gamer up throughout that. We saw several times where the healing stream from that, saved their life. And it was really insane to watch. But Pressure and Dapper, especially Pressure there on the Cassidy, just kill after kill every single time.
Yeah.
Unless they were picked off super early, it was almost guaranteed to get one or two in there.
And we saw too, right, where pressures would go so aggressive, he'd get the picks, and then he'd be down to 5 HP. And I can't help but think, had Rush just been able to capitalize just that itty, 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 bitty, itty, bitty, itty, bitty, itty bitty more, we could have seen a Rush win. And uh I mean, Ember has been a team that has been taken to map 3 on several occasions, but I don't believe it's ever been the first map that they've faltered on. I think they've always shown up, been dominant, and then the enemy has to sort of counterbalance their strategy, right? So this is a sort of new take that we're seeing now where Ember, they have to play in a way where they can't be scared of what Rush is gonna bring out. And once they stopped doing that, once they showed what they were made of, uh, it got little bit closer, right? Because we mentioned that, Rush won twice the amount of fights that Ember did, and Ember still kept it because they were just able to turn that snowball into a snowball once again, thanks to Lazy Titan doing a great job at maintaining point control and, not dying for a majority of that time. So, as ball players do, he's doing a great job at it. We're gonna be heading into Circuit Royale for our second map. Um, this is an escort map, so, with very interesting, defensive holds here.
100%. And this is a map that's almost entirely uphill until you
Mhm,
reach that third point, and it's a super great map for Pharmacy. And I think that's part of the reason why Rush chose it. And I think that was a great pick. We're
mhm.
probably not going to see too many changes. Both of the comps that were just played on each side can really be super powerful moving into this. So I'm honestly not expecting too many changes. Carnage did a great job on the Sigma, putting great rocks. We saw several great fluxes
Mhm.
and some really solid gameplay. And it was honestly really solid gameplay all around. There wasn't really any weak points on either team. So it's honestly anybody's game for
Yeah,
Circuit Royale. It's not too different from what we just watched. So it could go either way. I'm really thinking Rush is going to do a great job here. As long as they can prevent Lazy Titan from, stalling for as long as they let him
true,
last
true.
time. It was just crazy how long the Wrecking Ball was able to survive. Just spinning around the point, not doing much, just knocking your teammates aside, contesting that. I mean, it was minutes that
Yep,
Lazy Titan was able to knock off the timer there.
absolutely, and it's gonna be a hard ask. Wrecking Ball is not an easy character to kill. There's a reason why he is the stall guy, right? You pick very few other heroes if you wanna stall out the point, maybe Ramatra. Maybe Ramontra, maybe Orisa in like some weird circumstances. 99.8% of the time when you want to stall at the point, you go ball because he's able to get that overshield up to 1300 HP. And then you have to pop a smaller, more maneuverable Reinhardt shield that can send you flying in the air and shoot at you.
Absolutely.
I like that's what it is, and that's why Lazy Titan is so good at maintaining that control, right? And just knowing when to disengage and knowing how not to die. It's a big ask, but I do believe you're right. If Rush can figure out how to deal with that ball composition and like figure out how to sort of counteract it, we saw them win more fights. We saw them put that pressure on Ember constantly. We'll just have to see if they're able to continue that momentum here.
Absolutely. And I really don't think the Sigma will change, but do you think any changes are going to come from the side of Rush to counteract what they just saw?
Well, we'll see here in a second, my friend.
Mhm.
As we've got Galactic Rose here on the Widowmaker, and we do have a side swap, so it is now going to be Ember on the left, Rush on the right, just in case anybody's confused.
And the colors have changed as well. So now we see Ember in the blue and Rush in the red.
Yep. Just purely for confusion. Let's hope you're not colorblind. Anyways, um, um, 10 seconds here before the doors open. Yeah, I'm seeing basically the same strategy we saw from both these teams.
And the Widowmaker from Galactic Rose, most likely just looking for a couple early picks to give Rush a little bit of extra advantage early on, but we will see if they can get any right here.
I really like this angle they take initially, and immediately Lazy Titan almost gets a pick onto the backline. Dragon Hammer gets down very low. They're trying so hard to find that value. Don't quite, and they will retreat back to their team. But Carnage taking out so much damage, just trying to push forward here. And it's a battle of the DPS right now as Carnage continues taking space. You've got to watch out there, and immediately Pineapple gets taken out, but Carnage pays the price. They do have spawn advantage though, so Carnage will be back before Pineapple will be. Pressure's able to take out Unknown Class, and that should stall them out enough to force a stop from this push from Ember, but you have to stay alive.
And the double sniper from Rush can be really powerful and can get a lot of kills, but it's really difficult to run that against a good Wrecking Ball. And Lazy Titan, time and time again, has proven himself to be just that, a good Wrecking Ball. So I'm expecting maybe a couple changes from Rush, but they're doing pretty good so far, so it might not come anytime soon.
Both teams are doing an incredibly good job of playing their characters to the max strength. And Carnage just out mechanics the High Noon. That was very impressive from the Sigma. Gets a nice headshot onto Galactic Rose, and Pressure's still doing what they're doing, still finding those picks, but getting pressured out once again by Carnage, who's just playing an absolutely monstrous Sigma in this match. Lazy Titan once again trying their darndest to find any picks in the back line, but with the amount of damage that the front line of Ember is doing, it doesn't really matter in the end.
Absolutely, and Rush now, using that spawn advantage to get them just that extra bit of space now, pushing up, but Lazy Titan already back, ready to go, looking for picks.
And there's a flux already built up by Carnage. It is going to get one. Dapper will fall here. Will stay alive to a Mercy Pocket. Pressure's going to be able to find Barty. Unknown Class does eventually find Pressures in the end. And Pineapple gets down very low. Dragon Gamer is eventually able to pick them off. But Dapper's still alive. And with a Attack Visor in the back line, will find some picks. Dragon Gamer goes down. Carnage able to clean him up before then. And Lazy Titan doing a great job at using those mines to keep Ember back and forcing them away from the cart.
And Rush now with a pretty considerable ultimate advantage. We've got 3, almost 4, and Ember only has 1, barely almost there to 2. So both support ults for Ember, and we see 4 ults from Rush could really make a difference as they try to push this cart past this first point.
Galactic Rose finding so close to finding some key picks. Just not enough. Dragon Gamer's looking at the same sidelines, and they will eventually find Pressures. Dragon Gamer gets down low. Pressures gets resurrected, and now Ember's gonna be down without that now. The High Noon comes through, not able to pick off anybody, but Lazy Titan's gonna continue that pressure forward. Man, it's Trace left, right, front, and center. Neither team wanting to give this one up at all.
Definitely, and both teams fighting so hard just for one pick to give them the advantage.
Every single time one team gets a pick, it's immediately traded out. There we go. This time they're able to find Barty, but there's the Flux. It might find anything here, but the Mercy pocket is just too strong. Dapper's able to pick off Carnage, but Galactic Rose picks off Dapper. The trades are happening once again. The Reds come down from the side of Dapper, getting rid of that pick pressure from the side of Galactic Rose, and Pressures will get the pocket in order to defeat Galactic Rose. Though in the 1v1, excuse me, gets traded out left, right, front, center. Bob is on the point, forcing Lazy Titan away. He's down low, but he's got the backup of Pressure. Dragon Gamer doing anything they can with 20 seconds left on the board to find a pick while the rest of their team gets back. Dapper will eventually be able to take them out, and this is going to be last fight with 3 ultimates online for both teams.
Yeah, unless Rush is able to use their ultimates and maybe secure this, it will be last fight. So definitely already actually seeing several ults from both sides.
Galactic Rose looking for anything they can. Pressures gets down low. Won't get quite picked off, though. Lazy Titan doing a great job once again at harassing that backline. Carnage gonna be able to pick off Dapper, though. Finds 2. Carnage does. Absolute monster on the Sigma. There's the Mind Zone on the point. They're forced back away. Pressure to find Barty. Pineapple gets the res on the Dapper. The overtime is ticking down. Will anybody be able to touch? No, they won't with those mines. Pressure activates the Hydrant and find 1. Overtime continues ticking down. Carnage goes through, and Ember will falter. Rush will... Rush will falter. Ember will do a great job at defending there. I got mixed up by the colors. I'm sorry. Goodness gracious.
And again, like we talked about, a Lazy Titan stalling for so long. Like, it didn't seem like how many fights Rush was able to win there. Lazy Titan just coming back and forth from health pack to point, contesting for what felt like an eternity. And that really allowed their team to stay right there, not allowing Rush to secure that first point. And we can look at the crazy numbers right now. Pressure with 5,700 damage moving into that.
Yeah, absolutely bonkers. And we see once again, like, the sports are putting up such good numbers across all of our teams, right? We've seen Pineapple be, an incredible Mercy before, and they have effectively negated a player and a half's worth of damage, actually 1 player's worth of damage, completely nullifying them out of the fight, including those resurrections that Pineapple's been getting onto Pressures. They've been playing one heck of a game, and the backline should be spoken about on both of these teams.
Absolutely. And we're moving back in here, not seeing too many changes except for Dragon Gamer now on the Tracer instead of the Ashe. That's really interesting. Looking for dives most likely, and I'm really curious to see how they play that throughout this hold here. They don't have too much time. All Ember has to do is push it just towards that first point.
Absolutely. I mean, Rush could not quite find the ability to push it forward. It was a beautiful defense there from Ember. And Tracer in the backline trying to find any picks they can, but Dragon Gamer and Carnage gonna find 2 picks instead. Pineapple and Dapper both go down. And they're gonna be sent straight back to the spawn room. Dragon Gamer on that Tracer finds another 2.
Rush did a really good job there, cleaning up the fight. But Ember has such a close spawn advantage that they don't have a ton of time, so they're right back fighting.
Absolutely.
Dapper on
Rush.
the Pharah, with the switch there, I think that's really smart. Help to gain a bit more space, secure a couple more picks most likely.
Dapper getting down low, though, playing incredibly aggressive Pharah. Lazy Titan will be able to pick up Dragon Gamer off the back line. It's very well played, and Dapper's going to be able to pick up Unknown Class. Galactic Rose snipes out Pressures, but will get pressured out themselves. Nice rotation there from the side of Lazy Titan, setting up that kill for the side of Dapper, and Galactic Rose falls as well. Now it is going to be Rush looking for any, Ember, looking for any progress that they can get on this point. As once again, Rush come through. But finding any picks. Oh my goodness, the res comes through for the side of low repper end. That's going to be full force now for the side of Ember as they're making progress now around the corner.
And now Ember with a huge advantage as Rush has to come all the way back from their spawn. But it looks like they're playing smart. They're setting up. Don't have a ton of time. This could be the final fight unless they're able to flip it. But we have 3 ultimates from Rush. A couple coming on for Ember. Could be really exciting. And it looks like they're just about to engage.
There's the Flux there from the side of Carnage. It is going to pick up 2, and low repper, both supports will get down very low. Pressure able to pick up Barty, though, with that nice high noon to sort of counteract the Flux. Dragon Gamer and Carnage find their own picks, though, and that won't be enough, unfortunately. Lazy Titan being the only one remaining on the point will falter back, and they will get a second chance to hold here. Rush will.
Fantastic plays all around there, but Rush finally able to flip that, get it back theirs, but they have a minute and a half for Ember to come back, use every play they can in order to secure it. It really could go either way here.
I'm looking out for this Dapper Barrage. Looking to set it up, looking to find any picks they can. They do find one. Dragon Gamer does go down, but the Galactic Crows finish it off before any future damage can be done. Rez comes through, Pineapple there to pick off Dapper, and that pick from Galactic Rose is now nullified. Pineapple going on a bit of a battle mercy spree, able to pick off Galactic Rose without having too much issues, and Lazy Titan doing once again a great job harassing that backline. They will be pushing forward here. Ember looking to secure this win here. Valkyrie comes through. Barty doing so much to keep Carnage alive. Dragon Gamer comes back, doesn't find anybody. Barty and Dragon Gamer both go down. Carnage trying anything they can to stay alive. Massive flux. Not quite able to find any picks. So close. Dapper picks him off, and that will be Ember taking the game 2-0 with which is absolutely deceitful.
100%. You know, Ember did such a great job there contesting the first point, and then Rush on the second flip did just as good, working so hard, but Ember finally able to use those ultimates, played super well there at the fight. It had a great cleanup in order to flip that for themselves, despite Carnage's best efforts, just like that play right there.
Uh, I mean, yeah, that is like I said, Ember taking that 2-0, but I almost can't believe it. When you take a look at how well Rush played both of those maps, especially New Queen Street, it's kind of unbelievable. It's
Absolutely.
it's a statement to be made for sure that Ember are never out of the game, and with a few smart plays and massive picks on their side, they're able to capture the victory here.
And just like you said, throughout most of the first point there, once or twice in the second point, it looked like without a doubt Rush was going to just sweep right through that. But Ember held so strong, and surprisingly, able to win that. And, they played so well without us really noticing it. And I don't know if it's just because, we're maybe used to seeing Ember play like crazy, or if it's just because they play so fundamentally well, not just like showy well, if that makes any sense, that they just play well throughout the match, and there's no, crazy plays up or down besides, the occasional 4 or 5K from pressure like we saw.
Yeah.
But, it's really just solid, sound team play throughout that allowed Ember to win that. And that's, part of the reason they're undefeated so far this season is they're one of the strongest teams in terms of just playing together and playing smart that we've seen throughout the season. And they play so well in terms of teamwork and playing with each other. We see Lazy Titan all the time set up plays for the DPS, knocking people up into the air as Wrecking Ball, getting a crazy pin to make space as Reinhardt. That pays off every single match. And, that's just like we see, that's why Ember has played so well throughout every one of these games that they've played. It's truly impressive to see.
I mean, if you're constantly playing fundamentally strong, you don't have to wait for a play to come through. Rush is very good at making plays. They're very good at getting near team kills. But Ember is just like you said, so fundamentally strong. They know where they need to put their attention. They know what their objectives are. They know how they need to be executing those and communicating that. If you're playing as a team so consistently, the plays will come to you. You don't have to make them. And that is what I think Ember's, like, greatest strength is they just are constantly, um, on top of their stuff, just always. We saw them be a little shaky in Circle Royale, or more so should I say, Rush came in with such ferocity that Ember was caught off guard, and then the moment they rose up those shields, it was it was done for, right? And we saw that once again on Circle Royale, they played out of their minds. Even though Rush played extremely well, even though, like I said, they had some massive plays, it just wasn't enough to beat consistently great. So that will conclude that match for Ember versus Rush. We're gonna go on a little bit of a 5-minute break intermedium before we get into Glitch versus Crouton. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we are back, and we're gonna just fill out a little bit of time here before we get into our game of Croutons versus Glitch. Speaking of Croutons and Glitch, one person in particular has subbed for both of them.
Yeah.
Quest.
Quest, we've seen almost every week play in some form. They've been able to step up, come and play, and considerably well too. We see them often on the Diva, playing great, eating several great amounts of damage, an ultimate here or there, and excuse me, they've had some crazy bombs too. It's
Absolutely.
really impressive for a player to step up to that position and be able to play extremely well with seemingly every single team.
I think Quest has played every role. I think they played Reaper on DPS, they've played Diva on tank, and they played Baptiste on support. I'm not sure if we've seen other stuff from them or not. It's been a few weeks. I'd have to go back and take a look. But that's what I remember, and yeah, overall, really rounded character. I don't know if they're gonna be stepping in for today's game or not, or if for what team, because like we said, he's listed on both, which is super cool. And that is gonna be interesting to see. On the note of teams, we have the 1 and 4 Croutons, well, sorry, these aren't updated, but Croutons who have shown up and improved a crap ton over the past couple of weeks. They have shown their stuff, what they're made of, and have consistently pressed forward and become a much more dominant and well rounded team over the past couple of weeks. Whereas Glitch have shown promise, and there's always one every season, but they have solid fundamentals. They know what they should be doing. They always come out with the swaps, with the ideas, with the executions, but they're never quite able to capture it. And so I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to show what they're made of, considering we've had a few weeks off um, in this upcoming match.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Croutons again after, the match 2 weeks ago, their last match up against Ember. They're one of only two
Hmm.
teams to be able to bring Ember into a second or a third map and do
Hmm.
extremely well throughout it. I believe they brought him into overtime. Could be
Hmm.
wrong on that, but not many not many other teams can say that they were able to do that. And the Croutons played so well and we're able to really counter a lot of what made Ember play super well against them. Ember was able to take that win. They're still undefeated, but Croutons had an amazing showing. So I'm super looking forward to see what they bring out against Glitch. But like you mentioned, Glitch has also improved. There's not a
Hmm.
single team in the league that we've seen so far that hasn't improved, tremendously. But especially the Croutons have shown so much growth throughout the season that it's truly kind of crazy to witness sometimes. How much they've changed, since game one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, it and that's what the goal is, right? Is to watch these players grow and continue to master their mechanics and their uh teamwork, their ability to communicate, multitask, uh and just overall grow as a player in the world of sports and Overwatch in general. And Croutons have shown without a doubt that they have grown and that they have the stuff it takes to be a formidable team. And as we mentioned before, I do believe that Glitch's growth has been there as well. And I believe they've been very close, very close. They have had some great matches against even some of our tougher teams, but just never quite able to capitalize on the very end. They always seem to get the last little short end of the stick, some might say, and it is possible. I want to see the turnaround. I'm here for it. Right? We have 2 or 3 weeks left if you count this week, so 6, 7, and 8 with 3 games left in our season, including the today. That could be the turnaround for where exactly you're gonna get placed in seeding, who exactly you're gonna be going up against in the finals, and that's really what we're looking at here in these last several weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned, not much time. I believe finals are the week of April 22nd. Coming up pretty quick. Super exciting and looking forward to that. But like you mentioned, it's really important for both teams now, especially the way that they've played out.
Mhm.
It's so heavily split that one or two maps can really make a huge difference in determining where they're seated, and that seeding can be all important in deciding who you're gonna play, especially with a team like Ember that's so far undefeated. Like you really probably don't want
True.
to play them first round of the finals. So um, it's super important that teams bring out their best every week, which they have so far. We've seen
Yep.
that. Like we've said so many times just in the last 5 minutes. Each team every single week has really shown a huge change in how they play. They're
Yep.
play better, play smarter, and it shows almost every single time. And it's really impressive that they are able to do that. Um, and just a
Yeah.
little bit, we were talking too. earlier today before the stream about how the meta right now is kind of, kind of allows every player to play really any character they want to, and it still be, a pretty good pick, they can play it and do super well. And I think that's, brought out a lot of, the hidden talents of some of these players too, that they can swap back and forth between their favorite heroes, and feel more comfortable maybe, or just be able to play, just that much better and do so well. So I think that has a little bit to do with it. But I just want to know your thoughts just a tiny bit on how, the ability to play all those characters can make such a big difference with a team like this.
Absolutely. Um, with when it comes to Overwatch, counter swapping is a massive part of the game's strategy. You see somebody's playing something, you swap to a character that makes it very difficult for that opponent to get a whole lot of value. Or you swap something that doubles down on your team's strategy and sort of try to dominate the enemy on that factor alone, right? So one of these examples is we have seen for the first time, I think almost ever, Bastion come into the meta whenever there is a pharmacy on the enemy team or a tank that is just running through your front line, right? So Bastion is as one thing. He does a crap ton of damage in a very short period of time. And the things that that is good for is tank busting and uh melting through any sort of healing a Mercy can do that happens to be pocketing a Pharah that happens to be deleting your backline. So this is where Bastion has become incredibly strong and incredibly viable, and not playing against that Bastion, not waiting for that turret cooldown to go down is detrimental, and exactly what every Bastion wants because you're just feeding them. Nom.
Absolutely. And I could rant for probably hours on how Bastion plays out in different ways. I've said time and time again, Bastion is my favorite characters, but I will spare you from that today. But you are right. Bastion is able to do all that damage, and that's what kind of lets him fit in a way that we see so often throughout several different comps. They play so well against anything that just needs to die quick, like you said. So we see a lot of prevalence from the Bastion. We see Torbjorn a lot
Mhm.
recently, especially in all kinds of play. Torbjorn has shown the turret, doing a lot, but Torbjorn, having the ability that gives him so much armor, makes him unkillable. It seems
Yeah.
temporarily and able to put out so much damage
So
with
much
the
damage.
different abilities. We've seen that be super powerful. Symmetra being super powerful is
Yep.
really interesting to see. But like we said, there's almost no characters right now that can't be played and do well. Even Sombra now brought back
Yep.
to being pretty powerful,
100%.
and I think that's makes the game really fun and a lot more interesting than when several characters are just completely unplayable. And I think it's fun not just from a player's perspective, but also to watch when you see so much of a variety of players, like we saw
Mhm.
just last game alone. We saw several characters brought out, several swaps from each side, and I think that's a very nice and very warm change from what we have seen
Yeah.
in past seasons, or like in the Overwatch League right before finals. Seeing the same comp from every
Yep.
single team played all the time, can get really boring very
Hu
quickly. So
Yeah, 100%. I'm actually quite glad about where the game's at right now. It feels very fluid. It feels like you are, as we mentioned before, able to just pick anybody, just about anybody, and as long as you don't have somebody on the enemy who is just going to be, melting you the whole game or denying you of your abilities the whole game, it's quite an interesting experience, right? So for me, I'm a Reinhardt one trick. I can sort of pick up Ramattra and sort of pick up Orisa and Diva if necessary, but I have got almost 200 hours in Reinhardt, and Orisa's coming out on the enemy team make me sad. But also, I go Ramattra and counteract that anyways because they're both good. It's not so the issue with previous seasons, right, is that one character was so strong it didn't matter if you tried to counterpick him. You either had to match them in that skill or just suffer and die. In this one, there is a level to which the game has been so rounded out that counter swapping plays out very well. And so when we look at what both of these teams are able to play, we see that if they're able to play those counters and if that hero roster is sort of rounded out to a good degree, that they can counteract whatever strategy gets thrown back at them. Typically, Gumball and the Croutons really, really, really likes that Wrecking Ball, and we see a Funtime Cold sometimes come out with the Reinhardt, sometimes come out with the ball. So it'll just be one of those things where we will just have to wait and see and exactly to see exactly what either team's gonna pull out.
Absolutely, and I think Gumball as well, we've seen play the, Roadhog in the last couple matches, pretty well,
Mhm.
surprisingly,
True.
after the Roadhog changes. That's, another character we talked about. They got changed so much, you almost saw them unplayed, for weeks at a time, but now, Roadhog, once again, viable despite not receiving too many changes. We saw a small change to the hook and a small change to the cooldown, so that's been really interesting, but, just
Yeah.
like you mentioned, you can combo anything with anything now, and it works to counter all kinds of enemies. And
Yep.
there's been so many changes like that throughout it. I think when Overwatch 2 first released, we saw the Zarya was too powerful, so you either had to play Zarya or you lost,
Yep.
basically. And then it changed from Zarya to Orisa for a bit, and
Mhm.
then to Roadhog. And now it's back. Then it was Wrecking Ball for a short amount of time, thankfully. Um, so it's really nice to see it in a place where you can pick anything and play anything and feel great about it.
Absolutely. So, multiple different options of play here, multiple different types of scenarios. Of course, you're going to want to pick a strategy and double down on it, right? So, you're going to want to pick heroes that meld well together, but also knowing what your enemy is going to be playing and being able to execute a counter to that is going to be fundamental in tonight's match, especially considering how well both of these teams are at sort of adapting and overcoming their enemy. It'll be very interesting to see as we are going to be taking a closer look at this match. Um, I want to see the biohazard. I believe biohazard's been on the Junkrat before. I'm curious to see if that'll come into play this week at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're about to go into a quick 5-minute break before we come back. So stay tuned and we will see you very quickly.
And we are back after a short intermission, just a few minutes before we get started here. Whoo, boy, is it going to be a big one today. I'm excited because these two teams are going to be looking to find any victory they can, as we mentioned before our finals.
Absolutely, looking to pick up every single map possible moving in just to get that higher seed. It's so important to get seeded super high in the tournament. It's coming up in almost 4 weeks now, I think, three or
Yep.
four, the weekend of April 22nd. So super excited for that. Definitely looking forward, counting down my days for that. And that'll be my first finals as a caster. So I'm really excited about that. Looking
Buckle
forward
up and
to it.
prepare for the ride, brother. Buckle up and prepare for the
Yep.
ride. It's a great time.
I've heard some crazy things about it, and I'm really looking forward to it. But like we said, it's super important now for each team knowing that bit of information. It's really important for them to secure every map they can just
Yep.
to get bumped up a little bit, especially if you don't want to play a super powerful team like Ember. We saw them play just a little bit ago. Another win for them, still undefeated. So that's definitely not the team you want to play first round of finals.
Absolutely crazy. And yeah, you're right. I wouldn't want to either because that means that you're gonna have to fight your way all the way down to the losers bracket. And if you lose one of those matches there, you are out of the competition. But that is for finals. But now we're gonna be focusing on the match we have in front of us. Croutons versus Glitch. Gonna be starting on New Queen Street as per usual. Gonna be quite exciting to see. I think this is these are two teams that are quite well balanced between each other. I think they both have some really interesting um, fundamentals when it comes to swaps, when it comes to trying to counteract the enemy, as we said before. Um, it's just going to come down to can Glitch find it in themselves, although they've had a week off to really think and ponder and possibly even practice with each other to collect on the picks and the fines they put on their enemy.
Absolutely. And we've seen Glitch in the past do super well of working together as a team, making those plays for themselves and getting a couple picks off of it. And as they progressively gotten better too, we've seen them really increase their ability to capitalize off those. And that really makes a huge difference is anyone as a team can work together super well and make those plays they need, but you have to be really strong fundamentally in order to follow up on it. Um, and Glitch, has gotten better at that every single week.
Mhm.
But on the flip side of that, Croutons especially has shown the last couple weeks that they have really improved as a team,
Yep.
showing up last week against Ember and doing so well against them, and have a really impressive showing week after week. It just gets better and better, and that makes it so much more exciting to see what they bring out this week. But again, Glitch has shown growth every week, and they're one of the strongest teamwork based teams that we've seen in this season. So, I'm excited about that and super looking forward to see what they bring out, especially on a map like New Queen Street. A push map like this, you're constantly back and forth battling for the robot, trying to push it as far as possible before the other team steps in, pushes it back. And it's never over until either the victory or defeat screen pops up.
100%. Really, that should be how every game mode is treated. Because you're absolutely right. I mean, I actually just won a game a couple days ago because the enemy was looking away from me, and I just five-man shattered them on the cart and captured it. It was really great. So don't ever give up. Don't ever call it over until it's over. And constantly keep your head up and keep your mind in the game. Speaking of being in the game and the games that we have going on here in Oath, we have Oath Valorant on Thursdays. So if you like what we do here, make sure you go support the second half of the Oath family as they have some crazy games that go on there. I've heard nothing but close calls. If you would like to expose yourself to a new esport, a new game that's a little bit slower paced and not quite as chaotic as Overwatch, you can certainly make your way over there on Thursdays. We also have, as you mentioned before, Oath Finals and the Invitationals coming up on the 22nd and 23rd of April. Make sure to request off any days. Come join us for the fun, as it's going to be a 2-day event and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. There is also an upcoming volunteering event at the food bank. Make sure that if you're in our Discord to be looking at for any more information regarding that. I see all the teams have joined now, so we should be swinging back into this in just a few minutes as we head into Queen Street. Any thoughts? I know we've talked about how general balance has been good overall and that anything can be played, but considering the players we have in front of us, Imperium, who do you think is going to come out on a whole lot?
You know, it looks right now that we might have Lazy Titan stepping to fill in for the Croutons. I don't know where exactly he's going to be filling in for the Croutons, but if it is the tank role, that's going to be pretty scary to see back on here in New Queen
Ooh.
Street. The crazy wrecking ball play there can be super powerful on a map like New Queen Street. So might see Lazy Titan in a role outside of tank, but I'm not too sure what that's gonna look like coming up here.
And Quest on Croutons once again. As I don't know if they've become an official member or not. I think they are still filling on the support role. So Lazy Titan is what it looks like is going to be filling out on the tank, which, as you mentioned, is going to be super scary. We saw them be an absolute banger of a ball last match. Not quite, actually, quite bringing Ember, allowing them to, sorry, buying enough time to allow Ember to find the victory in both maps after just constantly staying alive and constantly harassing the backline. Um, and being a key part as to that victory, looks like actually Lazy Tide might be swapping over to the support role, so could be seeing some interesting changes. It is support, yes.
Perfect. It's still going to be exciting to see Lazy Titan in a role outside of tank, see how well he plays there. But, Gumball on the tank, just like that, we talked about how powerful they've been on the Wrecking Ball as well, and the same stuff applies there. On a map like New Queen Street, point control is so important because there's not, it's some crazy sight lines there, movements all over the place. There's nine different ways,
Mhm.
12 different directions to get to any one point on the map. So it's really tricky oftentimes, the huge sight lines. We see a lot of pharmacies played. We see a lot of, long range heroes. Ash is pretty common here. Soldier especially, able to run
Yep.
around all over the place. Get some picks here and there. So there's really, a pretty wide variety of characters we can see brought out here. And Croutons has shown quite a bit, of adaptability throughout that. We saw it, a couple weeks ago in their last match, able to switch back and forth from one set of heroes to the next set of heroes, and that really helps them to secure the advantage a lot of times and really work towards the other team's weaknesses. So, it's really kind of a toss up as to what heroes both teams play, but it's still going to be really exciting, especially with the adaptability and the teamwork that both teams really demonstrate throughout their matches.
And I like what you pointed out there for New Queen Street at the beginning there was that it just has so many directions to go from anywhere. And that is probably the biggest challenge when you're pushing the bot is your enemy can attack you from behind, in front, or even beside you at like any time. There's also a very nice high ground given to the defending team whenever you're pushing the bot as well in the name of that balcony up there that we have seen contested greatly by pharmacy combos before. I'm not sure if we're gonna be seeing that from either one of these teams here, but it's just a note that New Queen is one where you always have to be watching your back constantly because if you don't, there's gonna be a Reinhardt in the back line swinging his hammer and knocking out your supports before you can blink.
Absolutely. Like we talked about, there's so many different ways to get to any one spot on the map that flankers can come from everywhere. And that makes some characters like Tracer really powerful. Sombra even, can play. You just really just
Mhm.
no telling where they're gonna come from. Lucio sometimes played on this map, wall ride around everyone, sneak up behind them, get a crazy boop, let your team get picks.
Yep.
There's no end to the crazy stunts you can pull on this map with just the hundreds of different directions you can run at the point at any given time.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, with all that being said, we are going to be squeezing here in just a few minutes, I think. Um, and yeah, I one of the big things I really like about New Queens is they've got this uh what I honestly think is a somewhat underutilized position of the subway train that sort of sits above the majority of the intermap. And we see a lot of the times that either supports or DPS will take advantage of that high ground where they have a whole lot of cover and where you have to dedicate yourself in order to reach them, in order to get plenty of picks, in order to find all that healing and support, having perfect line of sight of the first half of the map. I think it's one of the least utilized spots, and I also think it's one of the best because you have an escape route behind you, you have all of line of sight in front of you, and you got high ground so that the enemy has to commit themselves if they ever want to chase you, which can be dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. And that spot is especially powerful for so many of the not just supports, but also the DPS. You see Ash can stay up there, Symmetric and Stage up there, but also like you mentioned, it's a really powerful for characters like a Mercy or a Baptiste. You can just sit up there, kind of dodge and weave between the openings. Just pump some healing into your team, and then escape pretty easily out the other side. It's almost a get out of jail free card for a lot of them if you get dove by several characters. So it is a really solid spot to hold, but we don't see it used very often, especially in the last few matches. So I do think it would be smart to utilize that just a little bit as we match up here. And now we're finally seeing some of the compositions run by either side.
And it looks like we have a sort of preparation from the side of Croutons. It almost looks like they know what Glitch is going for with this Funtime Cold on the Winston. They have both Diva and Reaper in the lineup, and that is an absolute counter to the Monkey.
Yeah, it's going to be really tricky for them to run that Winston into this, but a really solid all-around comp from the Croutons here. You got, like you mentioned, Reaper Diva able to dive together, especially on a Discord orb from Lazy Titan on the Zenyatta. Really powerful damage-based composition, can be all over the place too. So I'm excited to see as they move into this first fight here.
And it's going to be a Croutons taking the high ground there. It's Guy who's going to be finding a Funtime Cold. I apologize, that was a glitch on the high ground. Croutons find the first pick, and it's going to be Gumball getting down low. Galactic was going to be finding Gainu, but now the trades come through. Catitude gets res on Funtime Cold. Wants to get another trade here. Quest is able to find Galactic Rose. It's a Sojourn 1v1. Goes their way. Crow Void finds another trade, and the other team really finding victory here, but it does look like it is swinging in the way of Glitch.
Yeah, we see Glitch already moving that robot just a little bit. It's kind of abandoned right now, but there we go. We see Funtime Cold start moving it towards there, and yeah, Glitch with the cleanup there, getting those picks, buying a little bit more time as they start to push this robot. Some really great plays there from Crovoid on the Genji, diving all over the place, getting pick after pick there. Really impressive moves. And, Funtime Cold after that res, really playing super well in order to take in space, kind of preventing the Croutons from setting up there, and that's what kind of won that for them there. But you see Croutons already ready to go again.
Crovoid already at 92% and counting. This might build up the blade this fight. Lazy is going to be collapsing on Mr. Gumball's able to find Gratitude, and immediately it's going to be Croutons finding the picks eventually. Crovoid still alive, is able to pick off Gumball after they get the mech. Funtime Cold's able to pick off Gainu. The counter doesn't get countered. It's still so close, but Croutons will be the one to finish it off with Lazy Titan Penguin. The back line of Croutons actually picking up the final picks.
Yeah, and just that little bit of space captured by the glitch can make all the difference. But Croutons now pushing it their own way, taking a little bit of their own space here, pushing it towards that first point. But Glitch, a hugely mobile comp, won't take too long, get right back in the fight.
We're going to see that here as the blade comes in from the side of Crovoid. Already dives perfectly into the backline. Hits Suzu to keep them alive. Will they find a pick? Yes, they will. They find Quest. They're not able to find their Lazy Titan on the Zenyatta, who's done a great job at staying alive and finding those picks. Eventually, they will go down. No, they won't. Lazy Titan with the 180 melee on the Crovoid. That's going to be a trade for both teams. Mr. Fisher's able to take out Gainu. Now one DPS down for either side, and the Monkey has free reign to dive. Lazy Titan gets down low. Mr. able to eventually take off their head with the Q9. I apologize. And now it's gonna be Gumball falling here. Last one on the point. Try to stall it as long as they can. Still 7 minutes on the clock as both teams are trading victory fight wins.
Glitch finally flipping it their own way, but a great stall there from Croutons, knocking off a bit of the clock, not allowing them to get it, but Glitch finally moving it back towards them. But Croutons are almost completely ready to fight again.
And it will be Glitch finding the progress. as
Yep.
ultimates online for both sides, but it looks like Glitch does have the massive advantage here. We're going to be looking for 4 ultimates online for the side of Futons. They're going to be activating them. There's a Kitsune Rush for both sides, traded out either way. Guy knows able to pick up Crow Void, and there's the overclock there for the side of a Quest. Transcendence also keeping the rest of the back line alive against the enemy Primals. Funtime Cold tries to go in deep, not able to find anything thanks to that Transcendence, and Guy is able to take out Galactic Rose. Crouton's doing a great job of keeping up the pressure, and with that Diva damage, able to pick off 2 Gumball. Great target priority there. We'll be swinging this one back.
Crouton's using 3 ultimates there, but are able to finally flip it. Glitch using a couple of their own, still having 2 online. So now it's 2 ults for both sides. You know, a fantastic play there from the Croutons in order to flip it their own way, and their robots getting pretty dangerously close to, you know, taking the point, capturing that first point, getting their forward spawn. You know, that can make all the difference in a map like this.
And they are going to be taking the lead. There's not going to be contention there from the side of Glitch, as they're going to be forced back a little bit, and that is going to be Gumball finding Funtime Cold early on in the fight. There's too much damage to sustain through with that Reaper in his face. Guy Noob still has a Death Blossom, and is able to pick off Catitude. Massive Reaper plays, but it's going to be Crowwood in the backline. Finds Penguin, finds Lazy Titan. Now there's no support online for the side of Croutons as they continue pressing forward here. No healing allowed for them. Crowvoid gets down very low, will stay alive for just a little bit longer. Eventually he does get found, and it will be Croutons continuing to find progress here. But can Glitch clean them up before it's too late?
Croutons do have that spawn advantage now. The forward spawn's giving them, you know, that extra little bit of space in order to contest again. So we're gonna see them back in the fight really quickly here.
Oh, Mr. with a great use of Kiriko's damage there, almost picking off Gynoop in the 1v1. There's the Valkyrie there from inside the Catitude. And there's the Death Blossom. It's not going to be able to find. It's going to be able to find 1. Might make that 2. Galactic Rose returns with the overclock. They're able to find Lizzie Titan in the back line. Almost finds 2. Crowvoid gets resurrected by Catitude. And it's going to be even on both sides. Gumball gets down low, but not before Guinan is able to take out Galactic Rose. Slightly swinging towards Crouton's favor once again, and Quest able to pick off Catitude. Glitch just not quite able to solidify victory here.
With that pick from Quest, you know, really good cleanup there for the Croutons. Glitch being pushed back towards their spawn, you know, having to buy just a little bit more time as Croutons continue to push up. But we do see, you know, almost there for an ult for Mr. Penguin with their own ult, and Quest now almost with the overclock. We can see several ultimates coming out in this next fight. Glitch, you know, really working to buy some space, ready to set up, probably gonna come out with some ultimates soon.
Funtime Cold gets deep and quick into the back line, and then with that Kitsune Rush is going to be allowed to have so much damage output that they're going to be finding 3 picks of their own, and it will be Glitch finally pushing this one back here as Crowvoid picks off 2, and that will be Gumball falling last. This is their chance to sort of get that forward spawn and continue towards possibly making a lead with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock.
Glitch has a lot of space to make up, but with 3 minutes left, you know, it's easy to do if they can just keep winning fights, but Crouton's already back and ready to go. Kitsune
Rush now, but Crowboy's going to return with the blade, finds 1, Quest goes down the Transcendence there, they counteract the blade, Crowboy's got to stay alive, got to wait it out, he does so. Transcendence does go through, Gumball's able to pick off Catitude though, and now it's going to be Glitch down 1. The bomb is here for the side of Gumball. Will they be forced to use it here? It goes through, flying through the air. Crowwood's able to pick up Lazy Titan. The bomb, not able to find anybody. Guy was able to find Funtime Cold. Trades once again left, right, front, and center as Crowwood goes down once again, and it will be Croutons finding another fight when Galactic Rose doing anything they can to sort of stall this one out. Won't be enough, and they will be resetting.
You know, it's really good plays there from Croutons as well as Glitch. You know, both teams having to use ultimates to try to win that fight, but Croutons overall coming on top there with the great Transcendence from Lazy Titan to counter the blade. You know, really good play there. And Lazy Titan with the pick there in the back line, and Gumball with the pick in the front line. You know, if it really gives them a huge numbers advantage, they start to push back here, especially with Croutons now having the spawn. The forward spawn giving them another big advantage.
Absolutely massive picks there for the side of Croutons. Is they're gonna, oh my goodness, wait, Galactic Rose shooting in the back line there. Gumball not quite aware, almost gets taken down, but won't quite yet. And oh my goodness, Mr. finding Gainu with two quick headshots. That's what a solid mechanical Kiriko can do. The Suzu now used by Mr. But they have the Kitsune Rush to return the favor. Croutons forced to play back, laser thing, it's down to low. Crovoid able to pick him off and goes down, goes deep. The remake done from Gummo is going to be squashing Mr. Mr's face. Unfortunately, Galactic Rose has the overclock kind of do against the rest of Mr. So there it is. Both supports now online from the side of Glitch. They continue pressing forward, continue finding any progress. Mr. is able to pick off Penguin. And now it will be Glitch once again finding a way forward here. Gotta watch out for that replay in the backline though.
Yeah, Crouton's finally giving up, finally having to retreat. A smart play, backing up, waiting for full 5 before re-engaging. Glitch taking away the forward spawn, moving towards the forward spawn of their own, and we see several ultimates now coming from Glitch. We got 3 online, but also 3, maybe 4 from the side of Croutons coming up quick. And with 45 seconds left, probably gonna see some crazy fights coming out from here.
Crovoid able to pick off Gainu, and now Crovoid also has a Kitsune Rush to sort of help out. Gumball gets a massive 2-pick with the bomb though. Galactic wasn't gonna do both go down, and that could be what swings the fight. Gumball finds the third. It's 30 seconds remaining. This is gonna be the last fight available to them. I believe Glitch will get a chance to touch, but it won't be a good one. This is
They're
gonna
they're
be it.
gonna have to really book it to get back on the point, especially with Croutons having 3 more hugely influential ultimates ready to push them back off if they do make it.
Very nice play to be incredibly aggressive from the side of Glitch, as they're going to be pushing, sorry, from the side of Croutons, they're going to be pushing Glitch back, but Crovoid on the play is able to pick off 2. That could be what they need. Overtime is ticking down, the Primal comes in from the side of Funtime Gold to keep them alive. There's the Blossom from the side of Gainu, but is able to find Mr. on the loose, and Penguin does find Catitude as well. Glitch losing members as overtime continues ticking down. Funtime Gold does go down as well. And it's just Crovoid remaining. He's going to try his darndest to keep alive. But Gross with the overclock might find a pick or two here. Trying to stay alive for as long as possible. Will get found as well. Overtime continues ticking down. Nobody's going to be able to touch Mr. So close. And that will be Croutons with the first map win.
Such an amazing map there from both sides, really. Croutons finally able to take it, doing an excellent job, having several great fights back to back, really paying off. Gumball with several great plays. Does a fantastic bomb there to give him that little bit of advantage, get them on that final push that ended up winning them the fight.
And honestly, had that bomb not found 2 there, I think it very likely that Glitch would have had the number advantage because they had won that fight initially to continue pressing forward and maybe, just maybe, take the lead there, especially with the very valiant efforts and having 3 ultimates available in that last fight to sort of finish up the cap. So, very close, honestly. Well played from both teams. Croutons, like I said, just was able to find a little bit more purchase than Glitch was, and that was ultimately the reason why they won that particular map. Glitch so close, they're just not able to do it. And I think they still have one more chance here to prove that they can, and I think they can.
Absolutely, especially with such strong showings there from Kurovoid on the Genji.
Mhm.
Almost every single blade we saw it get at least a couple kills. Really powerful ultimates there, and a great play to get those kills. But Mr. also on the Kiriko with the crazy headshots. Back and forth almost all the time we saw
Mhm.
them get picks. Really impressive play there, especially on a character like Kiriko, having to aim a little bit different than the typical character. It's really impressive for Mr. to be able to do that. So for this next map, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing, but what kind of changes, if any, do you think Glitch is going to make to try to contest what made the Crouton strong there?
Um, Here's what I will say. Diva is very strong against Monkey because she can match his speed and she does a lot of damage. The advantage that Winston has over Diva is that Winston has a shield. He can simultaneously block the enemy from any healing that the opposing team can do, while buying, I would say, more intimidating space. Let's say than Diva can. But if you got a Diva in your face and you're getting melted by that Diva, Remember we talked about before, counter picking is so important, and I think the matchup between a Winston and D.Va is a little rough. I like the strategy they were going for. I like the Discord into Winston dive, um, especially against the Zenyatta. But you have to keep in mind that the enemy tank is also fighting you and finding the picks as well, right? And I don't think Winston has quite the damage presence that Diva does. And for that reason, I think that's where Croutons, or sorry, that's where Croutons has the upper hand. They have more damage. They have that. They have the same sustainability and same ability, just a little bit more output due to the character's statistics. So, um, we talked about how, like, the balance overall was really strong. I do genuinely think that Monkey is one of the weaker tanks overall.
I agree. It's really difficult to run Monkey against a Diva, especially when there's a Reaper on that team. You
Mhm,
know, it
that's
makes it
true
we
too.
saw Guy Noob on the Reaper throughout that. It's very, very difficult to work against that as the Monkey. And it kind of showed there a little bit. You know, Funtime Cold was still able to get quite a bit of value and played
Yeah,
very well, but I do agree that it probably could have had a little bit of a different outcome had they been on another character.
yeah,
So definitely expecting a swap there, especially as we move onto a map that's more likely to have, you know, a sort of different lineup there than New Queens. You know, New Queens, you're able to jump in as Monkey to kind of get into every single fight from
yeah.
anywhere, but that's going to be really difficult as it looks like we're moving into Rialto, which is a perfect
Yeah,
example of that. There are a couple places to stage early on in the first fight as Monkey, but after that, you know, there's not really much you can do. So looking
right.
forward to see the changes made all around. Rialto has several wide open sight lines that brings a lot more value to a variety of characters. So I'm looking forward to see what we see there come out from the sides of both the croutons and the glitch. So excited for that. But overall, what do you think the croutons are doing so well right now that's giving them, that little bit of advantage they need to win it?
Um, they are constantly challenging the enemy. They are always pressing W. They I mean, we saw it there at the start of that last fight in New Queen Street was that Croutons, immediately went for the kill before Glitch could even contest the point. They said, "We're gonna take a shortcut and we're gonna try our darndest to pick off anybody from spawn." Didn't quite succeed in that goal, but I think that they had been so successful up to that point that that's what's really giving Croutons the edge is they have the ability and the teamwork to constantly be pressing W, constantly be contesting Glitch and not allowing them for the setup that they were hoping for, right? So we saw multiple contentions on the high ground, a Gumball and Guy Noob on the Diva and the Reaper, respectively, would both go up there and both contest the high ground
Ready
and
for
just not
battle.
let Glitch play the game until they were forced away, which bought so much time that Croutons got a very early lead very quickly.
I definitely agree. I think that's a super great way to play it, and it showed how much value they were able to get there. But we do see a couple changes. We see quests now on the Cassidy as well, in Galactic Rose on the Widowmaker for the defense, and Catitude on the Ana now can be really powerful for defense, especially with Funtime Cold, it seems. Sticking with the Monkey for this map, so not a change there, but still several other good changes.
Five,
Overall, I
four,
think
three,
Glitch is
two,
probably going to struggle a little bit on the defense there.
attackers
Because
incoming.
it's really easy for the Diva to dive characters such as Ana and Widowmaker. So we will see as they move in.
I was gonna say I really do like this Widowmaker picked up from Galactic Roses. They don't really have too much contesting other than a Diva, and we're gonna see there that Quest does sort of get found coming out of spawn. Crowwood is able to pick off Lazy Side as well. It's actually gonna be Croutons struggling a little bit on this opening attack as they get picked off. Guy Noob flanks in the background though is gonna be able to pick off Catitude, and as Galactic Rose goes down as well, Croutons eventually getting picked. Or sorry, the
Ooh,
glitch.
another great headshot.
Eventually getting picks. Mr. able to find Guinev in the backline eventually, and they might be able to stabilize here, but they have that spawn disadvantage, so they'll have to retreat.
Yeah, it's going to take them much longer to get back in the fight. But we see the Widow swap from Quest now playing their own Widowmaker. And I think that can be really good to get that little bit of extra damage. Those maybe a couple early picks to give them just that much more of an advantage moving in here.
Galactic Rose looking for heads. Will eventually get sort of pressured out by Gumball, who won't quite make it up to the balcony, but it is enough to sort of scare them away. And now they are in prime position to do so. Find time codes able to find Quest, though. And now they are down 1 DPS. Croutons looking to put out the same amount of pressure, and they will. Lazy Titan and Penguin both go down. No more healing on the side online for the side of goodness, I apologize. For the side of Croutons, they continue pressing forward here. Galactic Rose goes down as well, and oh my goodness, it's just trade left, right, and center. 2.5 minutes on the clock still, and Crowvoid will eventually go down. Guy Noob doing a great job at fighting that. Will get picked as well. It's just left, right, front, and center. Like nobody's really finding a victory here. Now it's the Fun Time Cold versus Gumball 1v1. Gumball brought down low enough. The bomb comes through. Will not find the pick. Penguin able to find Fun Time Cold eventually, and they will actually get the capture. But that was that a hard fought time for the side of Glitch.
Absolutely. And, they did so well there, but Croutons, just using that spawn advantage, pushing forward, using their dive abilities to just really get in their face pretty much at all times.
Galactic Rose gets caught out, though. Gumball on that Diva showing why it's just such a great pick. There to pick off Mr. as well. Crowvoid going to try to return the favor with a blade. It won't be enough. They'll eventually get picked off by a very nice headshot from Lazy Titan. And now Croutons have so much free reign to push around this first corner. We have a pause.
We do have a pause, but those early picks and the crazy picks themselves too. Gumball with the crazy body block to really fight against that, let them get that pick on Mr. Excuse me, is really important, and that gives Croutons such a huge advantage in there because now Glitch either has to pull away, basically giving them the point, or try to engage one at a time and risk stalling even further. So getting staggered can make a huge difference here. So whether or not they choose to do that, I think, it really could go either way because, like I said, they either have to give up the point or risk it getting even worse as Croutons move into part 3 of this map here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a little bit of an uphill battle for the side of Glitch. And what you're really gonna be looking for is any exposure that backline from Croutons, right? Um, Penguin and Lazy Titan, or yeah, Penguin and Lazy Titan. Lazy Titan being a fill on the side of Zen has been quite mechanically impressive, and has been doing a great job at finding the picks when they need them. Penguin, Kiriko is a little bit more difficult to dive than other characters because if she does get that headshot, she does a lot of damage, and she got a Suzu to negate your initial burst, right? But that's really what this team is aiming for here on the side of Glitch. They have the Monkey, the Genji, and the Kiriko. They're all characters that can sort of single focus fire a target and find a pick, right? And Catitude on the Ana, if they're able to get those anti-nades, can find some great value as well.
Yeah. I definitely agree, but Crouton's doing a really good job of, focusing down those characters, but before they're able to use those abilities, and we saw it earlier with Gumball pinching off Mr. before they were able to teleport out, and getting those picks, and we see it looks like they are going to engage now.
Kitsune Rush and Primal both use theirs. They're going to be finding 2 picks immediately. A great engage, catching Croutons off guard and doing a fantastic job at finding those picks. Lazy Titan going to be found as well, and wow.
Yeah, I stand corrected here, as they do engage with just a couple, using their ultimates just to completely flip it around and knock all the Croutons back towards their spawn.
I'm absolutely flabbergasted. What a fight from Croutons. If they can keep that up, they'll be doing really good. Very nice fight there from the side of Crowboy, who will find Lazy Titan and may be able to get out with their life. Teleport is there. Beautiful Suzu to keep him up as well. Glitch. Gumball picking off Galactic Rose eventually, but you see little bits of fundamental work doing so good for both teams. The 1v1 happening right now, and Gainam's gonna, Crowboy's gonna be beating out Quest as well.
And Crowboy with the swap to the Reaper already showing so much of a difference, as they really are able to work to get a lot more picks, and just so much more damage thrown at them.
Guiding and Gumball finding 2 more picks as well, and well, that will be Crouton. That will be going Crouton's way eventually, but actually, Glitch will probably like. Neither team once again giving this one up. Galactic Rose does eventually get ran down by Gumball, but they're all the way in the back line, and now we have a Ramatra swap from Funtime Cold onto Lazy Titans.
I think that Ramatra swap from Funtime Cold is such a great idea. You know, a Ramatra being almost a direct counter for D.Va, and you know it looks like Glitch focusing more on type of raw sort of comp, and I think that's such a great idea as they move into this next corner.
There's the beautiful Blossom Crowboy going to be finding Penguin and Quest. It's a lot of healing and damage out now. Guidum's going to be returning to pick off Crowvoid, and it's going to be again a little bit closer. Funtime Cold so low, and Mr. Mister's the only one remaining. It will be Glitch finally pushing this one forward as Galactic Rose continues trying to find any picks. Will be forced to retreat and will get out. Good disengage from them there. Nice headshot. Lazy Titan goes down. And it ain't over yet. There's another one.
And with those picks, it seems like every single fight can go either way, really, at any point. We finally think one team's starting to win just for the other team to flip it around.
This is what we were saying, is that these swaps are just so important, and we see this coming from the side of Glitch. They're finally showing signs of life. Funtime Cold not getting blown up by the bomb as Electric Rose is able to find Penguin in the back line. It's another pick for the side of Glitches. They're going to be solidifying themselves here with a minute and a half remaining on the clock. Transcendence coming out from the side of Crouton to continue trying to give any pressure they can. There's Funtime Cold's ultimate comes through, but the Blossom absolutely massive for the side of Guynoob coming out from the top, and I believe finds 3. Question to pick off Funtime Cold. The ultimate getting canceled there for them. Beautiful play. This Guynoob picks up 4 and would just barely finding a way forward. 2 minutes on the clock now for the side of Crouton, as they've got a little bit more to worry about now.
That's very true. You know, moving into this third point, such tight, close quarters can really give Glitch such a huge advantage moving in here, and great sleep from Catitude onto the Reaper. But Crouton's right there ready to fight back.
Sound Barrier comes out now, and Glitch is going to be able to push forward with that as Funtime Cold is able to pick off 2. Do not leave that backline exposed against their mantra. He will melt it. Funtime Cold showing that exactly why that is, and Crowvoid picking up Quest once again. As we said with these swaps, Glitch showing life.
In the spawn now, getting pick after pick, doing such a great job. Crowvoid on the Reaper paying off tremendously, already built up another Blossom.
1 minute and 20 seconds left now, as more time is being burned off the clock for Croutons. The sleep not quite able to come through, and Guynoob Crowvoid almost gets cut out. Guynoob does a great job at rotating there. Crowvoid has the ultimate as well, so you really don't want him going down right now.
Crouton's trying to set up in a place that gives him just a little bit of an advantage. Moving into this third point, 1 minute left to push the payload.
Crowvoid is able to immediately find Guynoob, and Gumball's mech goes down as well. Might be an optimal time for Crowvoid to press Q, but he's not going to do it. We're up 2 already. Catitude does go down to a unmech'd Gumball, who does eventually get it back, and they will be forced to retreat here. Gumball going to take that advantage and press forward. The bomb, no shield available now. No fade for Crowvoid either, and they will go down. Will be Annihilation Mode activated from the side of Funtime Cold, as they're going to be really close to putting up their ultimate once again. There's the Blossom from Guynoob. They might opt to use it. We're looking for it. Not quite, and there's the overclock as well. The Kitsune Rush comboed with the Blossom. There's going to be finding Mr. Funtime Cold, and that was what they were waiting for.
A crazy play there, but now they're moving into that last point with no ultimate for the side of Glitch, or for the side of Croutons, and Glitch coming up on 3 ultimates for this final fight here.
Crowvoid tries for the Blossom, not quite able to find anything. That's so close, but that Suzu came in huge for them at the end. Same thing with the Annihilation ult, so close from Glitch, but they're just not able to find the purchase. The Sound Barrier comes out from them as well to try to keep the point alive, to try to keep overtime ticking while they have this spawn advantage. Any headhunting they can do, they're going to try for it. Not quite able to find the backline. They're able to pick off Crowvoid as he tries to get back on the point. Croutons making one final effort here as they stick onto the point. Mr. Mister does not get slept, and the Transcendence there for the side of Croutons to keep them alive. Overtime is ticking down. Galactic Rose looking for any heads they can. Will they be able to find him? It's so close. Funtime Cold back on the point, able to find Penguin as no Suzu available for the enemy team. Finds two. No support online for the side of Croutons. It might be Glitch's turn to finally stop them. Funtime Cold does go down. The Mystery is able to find Quest. The bomb coming through to clear the points. Not quite able to do it. Kind goes down the nano there for the side of Crowboy though. Able to find Gumball eventually. Gumball is the only one left on point. Overtime is taking down, and that will be a pause, a stopping there for the side of Glitches. They made some drastic turnarounds. Beautiful stuff.
Score
Glorious.
0
Oh my
to
gosh,
2. Switch
absolutely
sides.
crazy there. Back and forth constantly from the side. It looked so many times like Glitch had it just for Croutons to come back. And the same thing in the reverse. It looked like Croutons had it right there at the end, but Mr. with another eternal stall, it seemed, on the payload, not letting him pass that choke. And by the time they were finally able to pick Mr. off, the rest of Glitch was there ready to fight, and Croutons just weren't able to recover from such a huge ultimate advantage that Glitch had. And Glitch played so well, making those
Yeah.
super great, super necessary swaps in order to counter that. So, Glitch has the opportunity here to move it all the way through and get past that third point and win this map. And I think if anybody can do it, it's definitely Glitch, showing the adaptability and, the sportsmanship in order to do that. So I think if anybody can do it, they can. But Croutons here, now able to show their strengths on the defense.
Absolutely, and I think the the two changes that did matter the most were Funtime Cold and Crowvoid. We saw, because Ramatra is really good against tanks that can't babysit their backlines, right? Um, if you leave that backline open, if you can't
5
pressure out their
4
Ramatra,
3
they're just going
2
to run into that
1.
backline, find the picks they need,
Attackers
and get those
incoming.
kills. And that's exactly what we saw from Funtime Cold. Same thing with Crowvoid.
Ready.
If Crowvoid's able to avoid Gumball's defense matrix, the Zenyatta and the Kiriko both go down, and there it is. Crowboy is immediately able to find Lazy Titan. Beautiful pick from them, and that's going to allow Glitch to continue this defense here. Or to continue this attack, I
Absolutely.
apologize.
Every single early pick on the defense gives them such an advantage moving in because such a long spawn advantage. They're having to walk for almost triple the time that Glitch is having to here in the attack.
3.5 minutes on the clock. Guy was able to pick up Funtime Cold. But Galactic Rose returns in favor of that Widow, still working out so well for them.
And Crowboy diving in to try to split the team. Khan's doing a really good job of stabilizing, holding that corner, and Glitch, despite their fantastic plays, not able to push back that corners, and Croutons just have such a strong hold right there, using each of their abilities to their advantage, just pushing them back one by one, back towards their spawn, buying a little bit more time, a little bit more space, and I think that's working out greatly in their favor.
Yeah, just not quite, but with everybody in this hallway, it could be very good picks there for the brawl formation of Ramatra. Glad he was able to pick off Quest as well once again. That's a great pick for the attack line. Gumball gets down low. Glad he was able to pick off Guido as well. That's no DPS online there. They're going to return the favor by going for the continuing rush, but it's just not enough. Glad grows, finds a third in the name of Lazy Titan. And with a nice sleep on a Gumball, they will be able to sort of push past them and find more picks. Bomb got a little scary there for a second. Gumball is going to be able to get back into the mech, but gets it melted immediately. Fantastic focus fire there from the side of Glitch, and they're going to finally be pushing around this last corner.
And the great pick there on Gumball really gives them a huge advantage with that stagger there. Croutons now having to wait so much longer for their team to get a full 5 or reset.
Oh, beautiful Blossom, and the Sound Mirror coming in to save Crowboy's life was absolutely massive there from the side of Mr. Just not enough. Quest going to be picking up Crowboy as he tries to teleport out. Lazy Titan has the Transcendence as well, will use it to keep the rest of Glitch alive, to keep the rest of Croutons alive.
And now it's like Croutons are the ones with the advantage a little bit. We do see the ultimate there from Funtime Cold.
Lazy Titan Quest go down, but Funtime Cold's going to be falling over to Gainoob. Catitude goes down as well, and really with only the DPS remaining, Gumball is going to have a little bit of an option to sort of chase down Galactic Rose, force them away, will do so, and that will allow Glitch to find a foothold with 1 minute remaining. It is actually Glitch with the ult advantage here.
And also, this is one of the trickiest parts of this map, and maybe really any map, as it honestly gives the defenders a little bit of a spawn advantage. You know, they just have to walk straight out just that little bit to get back to a point where they can contest. But Glitch having to walk all the way back from there, much further spawn can really be tricky.
Fun time Cold taking in so much damage. He needs that backup. He is gonna get it. Mr. Mister's gonna be finding Quest, but Gumball, Lazy and Guy Noob all find their own picks simultaneously. Now there's 30 seconds remaining on the clock, so this is gonna be last fight. Or 10, yeah, 30 seconds. I was right. Last fight here. Still ultimates online for everybody on both teams.
And a great pick there by Gainoob on Galactic Rose, essentially keeping them out of this last fight. But Crouton's having 3 ultimates to contest with. It's going to be really tricky for Glitch to push past this.
Here's the Blossom from Gainoob. Could be absolutely push ending. Not going to get picked in time, and Gumball actually picks up 2. Mr. Mister and Kovoid both go down with that bomb. Probably going to seal the deal. Nice nano onto their Mantra. Will they be able to touch? No, they won't. And that'll be Croutons going 2-0, but Glitch showed some life in that last fight, or in that last map.
Absolutely. Glitch the whole time, making those super great swaps and playing super well, especially Kovoid on the Reaper. Having fantastic play, back and forth, made it really fun to watch. Did a super great job there. But Croutons, despite those changes, just building on more to their strengths, playing super well. Lazy Titan with the fill there, playing the Zenyatta we saw, did really great. Had several great transcendences, good discords. Playing Zenyatta very well. Gumball, fantastic play on the D.Va. Just all around for the side of Croutons, doing really great. And a super great matchup there, Glitch versus Croutons. Glitch so many times, seeming like they were just about to get it, and they did,
Mhm.
numerous times, that final hold. But it really just ended up Croutons buckling down on their strengths and playing super well in that final fight. Won
Yeah,
them that map.
absolutely. I mean, we saw Glitch. I surprised honestly that they weren't able to capture that first point. Croutons really played extremely well against that Ramatra. Stayed back, did not let Funtime Cold get in for free, and really just made it difficult for Glitch, who had made great swaps, by the way. It's fantastic strategy against what Croutons was playing. Made it very difficult for them to find any actual purchase, and I think that's what really solidified that game. Good job all around. I think if Glitch had gotten there just a little bit faster, we could have seen something totally different. I did like the strategy pause, because after that, that's when we saw that's when we saw the swaps and when we saw the communication. Um, but overall, well played, Glitch. You had a phenomenal strategy there at the end.
Absolutely.
Croutons, that D.Va dive comp is great for you guys. You guys play it out of this world. So keep doing that. Don't change a thing until D.Va gets nerfed. And yeah, we will see you guys all for next week's matches. And week 7 of our season. My name is Merp. I'm joined by Imperium. And we'll see you next time. Don't forget to check out Valorant on Thursdays.